Encourage food as you can. Tinned food is best. Dried meats and anything. And don't forget your camera.
So the Viscera Film Festival started in 2007 when I made a short film with a group of friends. They were all female. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I wanted to make this very short film on an afternoon, and I got a bunch of female friends together, and we're making this film, and it came out really, really beautiful, very well. And I suddenly just had this realization while we were on the set that not enough women work together. And I thought of that many, many times before, but it really dawned on me about the potential of a group of females coming together and creating. And it's not just the potential, it's what it's actually doing for women everywhere. When a group of women can come together and put down those sorts of classifications of what a woman is supposed to enjoy, especially with making a horror film, because it's so brutal, and so when women come together to make a horror film, it's explosive, I feel. And so Viscera was born. And what I did for the first 3 years is I created a compilation every single year of about 8 to 12 films, and we ran it as a festival online. So women from all over the world would submit their films, and we have a panel. So it's panels all of filmmakers, female filmmakers, and we'd watch the movies, decide on who we're going to be the official selections, and then I'd make the DVD with the official selections and give them out to us sponsors all over the world. This is film festival sponsors, websites, journalists, just kind of running the whole gamut. And their films would be played in festivals in South Africa and Australia and in the Midwest. And people would find out about their work that they never would have known that all of these modern female horror filmmakers are out there. And so I really felt that Viscera was bringing these modern female horror filmmakers together, and getting them in contact with each other, and then they go off and create more projects. And it really just started to steamroll, and more people, more sponsors, and more filmmakers just jumped on board, and so we did a film festival.
Overall, I don't think there is an observable difference between the types of horror films being made by women and the types of horror films being made by men. I will say, however, that there are notable exceptions to that rule, where a film is so female-oriented that it's hard to believe that anybody but a woman could have directed it. There are a couple of films like The Commune, or a recent movie called Family Demons by Ursula Dabrowski, which is coming out of Australia. There are filmmakers making things that are really female-oriented with female characters that cover issues related to women. Overall, as a whole, though, they're pretty much comparable in terms of their topics.
You know, I was inspired to tell a story. The first movie that I ever did was Strip to Kill. And it really was because I lost a bet. And by losing the bet, I had to go to a strip club. And at the time, my partner thought that that would be the worst thing that he could make me do. And I went to the strip club, and I absolutely loved it. And I was so inspired by the strippers. They were artists just looking for a way to express, and that's the way that they had found, and they could make money and be artistic, and just it was really just so cool. And I remember going in and being mistaken, first of all, for an off-duty stripper and going, oh no, and then just loving what I saw, and my partner going, okay, we can leave now if you want to leave. He thought I would be dying to get out of there. And I stayed through 2 shows. I stayed until they closed, and I thought, I have to make a movie about this. So I was really inspired that way, and it was a thriller. It was like a murder mystery thriller. So I don't know, I just sort of tended to go in that direction of storytelling. They were the books I read. I loved reading murder mysteries and things like that.
If you're a woman and you make a horror film, then since it's from your perspective, that to some degree it is going to be a feminist film. That does not mean that you have to go around and murder men or take revenge on men or hate on men. It's nothing like that. It's more of this idea that you're coming from a woman's perspective and the way you feel trapped in your body and not being able to have your soul be released, and living every day to day in a female's body. And when you make a film, that's going to come through in some way, even if the film is about a man.
I started a project where I'm writing a book on female horror film directors. There are so many more than I could ever have imagined that there were, that I'm kind of almost sorry I started this project, because it's a far greater undertaking than I ever imagined it would be. There are so many shorts and features being made every year by women that are horror, like indisputably in the horror genre, and we barely hear about them. Sometimes if they're getting a major DVD release, they might get a news blurb or perhaps a review somewhere, but that's it.
We're at a critical point right now. We're at a point where there are a lot of doors opening for female horror directors, and women have been bitching for a long time about not being able to direct and not being able to be in positions of creativity where they have final say. And I think that women need to really step up to the plate and take advantage of these opportunities, because especially within the horror genre, the genre that's widely considered to be the most anti-woman genre. I mean, this is where the opportunities are, and men are saying, like, yes, come join us, make some films, let's get some women in here, and so I think that that women, female horror fans or female young filmmakers should be looking at a lot of these young filmmakers who are making short films and who are even making first features and stuff within the genre, and see that there's a lot of possibility and opportunity there, and take advantage of it, because in the future we'll see some things that we have never seen before if that happens,
So I believe that feminism and horror films mix incredibly well. Some people might be put off by the typical slasher film, which is only one subgenre in this giant horror genre, which is the second highest selling genre, and the first one is pornography. So a lot of people watch horror movies, and it's not just 14-year-old boys.